All right. Light's a bit weird, but hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be playing some more Garry's Mod Star Wars RP on our Clone Wars RP server. Yesterday, we thought we were going to make a quest, but instead we spent a good chunk of the time making the question and answer NPC. And that took up a good chunk of the time. By the time we finished that, there was an event, so we did a little event. And that was all nice and well. So today we're going to actually be making a quest, and I'm going to be showing off how I make the quests on the server, because the add-on is pretty complicated and it takes a long time to set up. Every single thing you can think about a quest needs to be set up manually in here. Like, do you want an NPC to spawn? You need to set the model, the enemy, because the type of NPC it is and the model it uses are different. The weapon, the location, how much health it has if you want it to have more than like 2 HP. And, all that stuff is done manually. Do you want to give the player ammo when they start the mission or when they get to a certain part of the mission? Because not everyone spawns with a bunch of ammo, so do you want to give people ammo in order to compensate for that, or do you want to do something else? All that stuff's done manually, so we'll see. I'm gonna need some streamer tips. What streamer tips do you need, Hyper? The other thing we're dealing with, and I'm not going to deal with this on stream, but there is an issue with, I believe it's Steam. I think Steam a few days ago started doing a thing that broke Garry's Mod server downloads a bit. So for the time being, it appears that what's happening is that it'll only download the first 100 workshop add-ons that the server says you need to download. And then everything after that, it just doesn't download. So we've had quite a few people saying that they've been getting disconnected because the map was missing, or because that they can't see like certain NPCs and stuff. And that's something that we just need to wait for Face Punch to fix, I believe. Apparently there's already a fix in the developer branch of Garry's Mod, so hopefully the next time Garry's Mod gets updated, that whole thing will be fixed. But for the time being, what we can sort of do to work around that is to prioritize the first 100 add-ons that we want people to download. And so right now, the only thing I've done to sort of optimize that is I've put the script that specifies which map you need to download from the workshop at the top. So at the very, very least, hopefully we won't have anyone getting disconnected for missing the map. However, you're still missing almost half the add-ons the server has if you're just relying on the server to tell you which stuff you need to download alone, which again is why we highly recommend everyone downloads the content pack that we list like on the Discord. So if you can, subscribe to everything in the content pack, because the server just simply isn't going to download them all for you, at least until this issue is fixed. I have also enabled fast download. I had a quick chat with our server host. Apparently, it should fill in some of the gaps if it fails to download something from the workshop, but I haven't noticed it downloading anything for me, but I'm subscribed to all the add-ons, so I don't know. I did a quick test. It doesn't, having fast download enabled still doesn't download the NPCs, so yeah, you can't see this NPC here when you first load in, because it's like one of the latest add-ons we added. So that was kind of annoying. You know, seeing that all the work we did yesterday can't even be seen. So yeah, you see where the name pops in when you're a certain distance away from it? If you're any further away than like this, you have no way of knowing there's an NPC there, because the NPC models aren't downloaded because they're one of the last download add-ons in the list. And so it'll be invisible to most people. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to take the NPC model, take the list for the listing for the NPC model, and put it towards the top in the first 100 add-ons if I want people to see the NPCs. So that's going to be something that I'm going to need to work on. How do you commentate so well? You just say what you're doing. Like anything, like literally say everything. Say what you're doing, why you're doing something. Don't just assume that people know what you're doing and or that stuff is implied, you know? Like when I'm playing TF2, if I'm choose to go heavy, say why you're going heavy, you know? Say, oh, I see we've got a bunch of soldiers and pyros. So we need someone to play a different class, like a heavy, to help defend or something. You know, explain what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing. Don't just sit there and just go heavy. Say why you're going heavy. That's, I think, is more interesting. Or it makes things more interesting, I guess. So yeah. That's my tip for how to commentate, I guess. It also helps if you work on your oohs and ums. Like, I'm not perfect by any means, but instead of saying, I like, really, like tacos and, stuff. Instead of saying stuff like that, pause. Like, it's, a lot of people say ooms and ums and stuff because, well, I just did it because they don't know what to say, but it's better grammatically and it's more professional to just pause. Like, and you know, I have a problem where I say like too much, but it's better to just pause. So if you can work on that, it'll help. Like, take what I just said, you know, a pause is much better than saying ooh and like. You're welcome, Hyper. Those are just you know, a few things. Of course, now that I've said that thing, I'm going to notice it the entire time. I'm going to notice every ooh and that I say for the rest of the stream. Great. Hype. But anyway, we're not here to just talk about pro streamer stuff. We're actually going to make a quest today, and I want to make sure we get to it because we didn't get to do it yesterday. So let's see. In order to make a quest, the first thing we need to do, well, is to come up with a quest. I'm actually going to use the new Bing. I have the latest version of Microsoft Edge, so I have the Bing Compose feature. So I'm going to see what Bing suggests that I make. I just need a generic idea for a quest. So, professional, casual, enthusiastic, funny, it doesn't matter. Ideas. I guess it doesn't need to be too long. Make a quest for a Garry's mod. Make a quest for a Garry's Mod Star Wars RP server. That takes place in or around a Republic base. Where the player is a clone trooper. I'm just trying to like give the prompt as much information as it can. Because what I found when interacting with ChatGPT and the new Bing and these other AIs is that sometimes it'll just fill in the gaps where you don't necessarily want it to fill in the gaps. Ah. Okay, well, I mean... Oh, hi. This is a good start. So the prompt it generated for me is... Report to Commander Cody for your briefing. Board the LAT/I gunship. That's interesting how it specified the /I. And fly to a nearby separatist outpost, where you eliminate all the droid forces and secure the area. Locate and disable the enemy shield generator. Get in the gunship and fly back to base. Debrief with Commander Cody. So that's a good general thing. I think the best place for an outpost would be sort of up here. And if you're familiar with this map, you might be like, Noodle, there's like 2 actual bases on the map. Why not use one of those? There's like a base right here with like multiple rooms and stuff. Why not choose this one or the other one over there? And the reason is, I believe that these are pretty popular for events. So I don't want a quest to sort of overlap with an event location if I can help it. I mean, the obvious solution is, you know, just tell people not to do quests like this quest when we're about to do the on-map events or something. But ideally, I'd like to keep them separate. And besides, the quest does have the prompt to get into an LAAT, which I don't know if I'll keep that for the entire time. Wes might have an issue with LAATs spawning in if people aren't pilots. But this is the best spawn on the map, I think, that would require you to fly to it. Now you can like climb sweep and use a grappling hook to get up here and stuff, but you get the point. Like, it's just, it makes the most sense that this is the place you would fly to. So Wes might have a problem with LAAT spawning in, but for now I think what I'm going to do is try to stay true to the prompt that the new Bing, which is built on ChatGPT and GPT-4 or whatever it's called. I think it's best to try to stay true to that. So I'm going to ignore Commander Cody, like the references to Commander Cody, because we don't have lore characters on the server. Report to briefing for the mission. I'm just going to consider the NPC that you get the mission from as briefing, because there's no need to make another NPC just for one quest. So I'll consider that done. Board an LAAT gunship and fly to the nearby separatist outpost. Alright, so we got our first objective. So in order to start working on the quest, we need to hold down C, open the C menu like this. I think there's a command to open this menu too, but I prefer just using the C menu because it's easier. We go to the max startup menu. Make sure we have MQS selected. I think that stands for blank quest system or whatever. And you'll see all the quests we've already made. Click on new quest. I just don't load one stuff because I'm starting from scratch basically. What should we name this? We can always kick the can down the road and think of a name later. Outpost clearing, and then yeah, we'll just, this is a placeholder name, and then the ID will be clear outpost. The ID just needs to be unique, so we can't have another quest named clear outpost. So the briefing. If I can type. Our reporting. Our scouts are reporting. The CIS have set up an outpost on the mountain opposite of our base. Up in the LAT, and ooh, this could be a good place to put in an airstrike. The only thing is I would need to make sure that the airstrike is removed when the quest is over. Up in the LAT. Take out, assault the base and disable their shield generator so we can call in an airstrike. And then if I can, I'll allow them to call in an airstrike. But that could be sort of mingy, I guess, if they just call an airstrike on the base instead of the outpost. The quest completed text. I think accomplished is spelled with 2C. Yeah, it is. It does have 2 C's. Accomplished. I'll do an exclamation point. Quest due time. I'll just set it to 900 for now, which I think is 15 minutes. I have no idea how long this is going to take. But generally, I want there to be a timer, so that way someone can't just go AFK while on a quest. Allow to abandon quest manually, sure. Loop task quest, no. Failed quest on player death, sure. Per player cooldown. Cooldown if fail. I'll just put 70. I put 70 because it takes 10 seconds for you to respawn, and then I just want like a small cooldown, so like 60 seconds or something. Cooldown on success. For this one, I'm going to do 12 hours, which a quick Google search in the seconds leads to 43,200 seconds. Player limit for the quest will make it so only one person can do that quest at a time. So if someone's already on this quest, then someone else can't start it. This is mainly because we're going to be spawning in NPCs. And, you know, obviously if someone's fighting NPCs at the base and then someone else starts the quest, then it'll spawn another set of NPCs, and, you know, which NPCs are yours and which ones are theirs. It's confusing. Amount of players needed to start, I think that's for people on the server, so we can just leave that empty. We can set a whitelist or blacklist for jobs that can do the quest. I'll just leave that blank for now. Though we could set it up for like higher up levels if we want to. Required completed quest. We can set one of the other ones as a required quest, so. We'll set, for now we'll set that B2 a problem. So this is that's the quest where we have you take out a B2 battle droid. So we'll say you need to complete that quest. So you've killed a battle droid, a super battle droid. So you know what you're up against in that regard. Disable quest replay, we'll leave that unchecked. And whitelist, we have disabled. NPC editor, oh, yeah, that's completely separate. So we've got the main option set up. We need to do objectives now. So the first one is going to be collect quest entity, I believe. Let me just double check if this is the same as what I did in Perimeter Patrol. Okay, so I just did a move to point thing. We can make this a bit wider of a circle because this is going to be an LAT. It's going to be a big vehicle. So a move to point thing is a move to point objective is exactly what it sounds like. Hey Dalton, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. A move to point objective is exactly what it sounds like. The objective is to go to a location. And once you get this objective, once you set this up, we can say mark area, which will basically place a waypoint where the objective is. So if the objective is to go to the hangar and you mark the area, it'll show you which way to look and which way the hangar you need to go to is. So if we click on something and press C, we can close the menu real quick, go to where we want the location to be, which is in this little spot here. Set it to my position. So now the move to point will point to my exact location, and the circle will be 350 wide. I don't know what units those are, but 350 wide. And you generally get a sense of how big stuff is when you mess around with this. We can change this later too. So so these are the main objectives. The move, so far all we've done is we've created the general options for the quest, and when you start the quest, you get a move to point quest. So instead of move to point, we'll say retrieve the LAT or whatever. How do I phrase it in the other mission? Retrieve and... Yeah, okay. Retrieve the LAAT. That's going to be the name of the objective. So instead of move to point, it'll say remove the LAAT, retrieve the LAAT. It'll point to this location where we're standing, and the distance will be 350 wide. But all this is telling the player to go here. So if we wanted to actually spawn a vehicle, we have to go over to the event tab. And the event tab is, you can sort of think of the events section over here as like, when you get this objective, this thing happens. So when you get the objective, retrieve the LAAT, the stuff in the events over here will happen. So when you get the objective to retrieve the LAAT, we'll say spawn vehicle. And we got different options here. Let me just make sure there isn't like a different thing. Sometimes they'll have different options for different add-ons and stuff. So in here we have enter vehicle class. LFS Star Wars vehicles. That's what the type of vehicle is going to be like. Default is just like a regular vehicle. And Symph is basically, if you're using an add-on that uses that, then you'll use that. We use LFS / Star Wars vehicles, so we'll put that there. Enter the vehicle class. Now, how do you get the vehicle class, you might ask? You go in here, go to entities, or wherever your vehicle is. For here, we want LVS. I'm just going to use the LVS AAT. So we right-click on it and copy to clipboard, I believe. I think that's it. Yeah. So when you right-click on a vehicle and then copy to clipboard, it'll copy the class. And so you just copy and paste that in here. Now, where do you want this to spawn? I should have stayed still, so it like spawns exactly pixel perfect on the point. But again, we can just say set to your location. And yeah, just make sure I'm facing the right way too, because we can set the distance, the spawn angle with the direction you're looking as well. Skin, that's sort of like the different variants of it. So if there's like different paint jobs or whatever, and you want to change that, and the default one isn't the one you want, then you can set it there. I'm just going to leave that for now. So we've now set it so that when you get the objective, retrieve the LAAT, a vehicle spawns here with this class. So this gunship will spawn, and it'll spawn where we're standing right now. So that's all well and good. After that, we actually need to go somewhere in the LAAT. So we need to make another move to point. Go to the CIS outpost. And you gotta remember to mark the area, otherwise it just won't give you a waypoint to where you need to go. So I'm going to no clip up here and set the location of where you need to go. I don't think this is technically a landing pad, but we're going to treat it as one. So again, make sure I'm facing the right way. You don't really need to face the correct way every time, but so at this point we're in an LAAT when we get here. So I'm going to set the distance to be a bit higher, so the circle that you need to reach is larger. And again, you'll be able to see the difference in size once we actually start testing the mission. So let's see. We've made the briefing, board the LAT gunship and fly to the nearby outpost, eliminate all droid forces and secure the area. So, we've traveled here. I'm going to assume we've landed. Now, we'll obviously need to spawn NPCs at some point. However, there's a completely different option for NPCs. Kill NPCs is going to be the thing we're using. However, if we spawn them here, then they'll spawn when we're in the ship. We don't really want that. So, let's say something like enter the base or something. So you go over here, make another move to point. I'm going to set this to a smaller area because we're on foot now, presumably. Enter the outpost. Again, this is a circle, so you technically don't need to be super precise with what direction you're looking at, but I like to be as precise as possible. That's just me. Again, mark the area, otherwise it won't tell you which way to go. And now we can start placing NPCs. So you've gotten to the LAT, you've flown over here, you've walked to the entrance of the outpost. Whoop-de-doo. Now, once you get here, you're going to be killing the NPCs. Now, obviously, if you get the thing, if your prompt is kill NPC, that's kind of immersion breaking, so to say. So instead, we're going to say that the objective is to eliminate enemy droids, or, I don't know, clear the outpost. Clear the outpost of hostile droids. Now, you can toggle this to allow other players to kill NPCs. This will make it so that if you want to be able to help someone to be able to help other people with the quest, then you can enable that. I like to keep it off so that NPCs will only target the person that's on the quest. And, you know, those NPCs will only target the person that's on the quest, and the person that's on the quest will be the only person that's able to damage the NPCs. So, show entities location to the player. I always toggle that on. What that'll do is it'll show you where the NPCs are. So it'll put a little red dot on top of an NPC. Not super realistic, but I like to do that just so that there's less confusion over where exactly NPCs are. So once you get here, once you complete the objective, enter the outpost, NPCs will start spawning. So how do we spawn NPCs? We go in here, and again, once this event is activated, then the stuff in the events tab will occur. So once you get the objective to clear the outpost of hostile droids, we're going to spawn an NPC. And this is just going to be a simple NPC. I like to basically give myself God mode here. And to simplify this, we can just spawn the NPC we want. So let's see. HD Battle 1 Droid Private. Did Wes... Oh, I was going to say, did Wes forget to re-enable AI or whatever? Now, if you don't want them to, like, just blast you or whatever, you can also just give them an item that they can't really attack you with. The only thing is that you spawn in the droid that you want. Hey Pixel, how's it going? So this is the droid NPC that I want. It's the specific one, the hostile version. That's important. If you have like a friendly version or a hostile version, make sure it's the right one. And we hold C to open the menu again. Enter the class. Look at this. Copy from looking entity. Wow. It's NPC Combine S. Now, why is it Combine S and not like droid, whatever? Because this particular NPC is based off the Half-Life 2 Combine. They will act the same. They will shoot the same. They'll basically be the same. If you're using like a completely different NPC pack that's, I don't know, is based on next bots or whatever, then this might be different. But it could still not be what you think it is. So that's why I like to spawn in the NPC that I want. It simplifies this quite a bit. However, if NPC Combine S was the only thing it had, it would spawn a Combine. So that's what this model path is for. So what we're basically telling it to do is to spawn an NPC Combine with the model droid CIS B1 hostile. We don't really need that anymore. I think it actually triggered the thing, but so where do we want to spawn this? Let's say we'll spawn it here, so we're looking at the door. We again set to your position just to make things easier. NPC is an objective target. This is important to enable. So what this means is that this NPC will count as an NPC that you need to kill, because we're in the kill NPC part. So it's very important that you remember to set this to enable this, because otherwise they'll spawn an NPC but they're not the objective. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to spawn an NPC that's not part of an NPC that you want to kill in an NPC kill quest? Well, think of it as, what if you're making a battle, right? Say that there's a quest you need to make where you have a friendly NPC that's fighting enemy NPCs and they're running out of reinforcements or whatever. So you can basically set up friendly NPCs in here to spawn alongside hostile NPCs, and then the friendly NPCs, you can have this disabled so the friendly NPCs don't count towards the NPCs that you have to kill, and so you're not killing friendlies. So it's a little confusing, but for enemy NPCs you always want to enable that. And we're not going to have friendly NPCs on this quest, so that's fine. NPC weapon quest, or weapon class. This is also very important, because otherwise this particular NPC will not spawn with a weapon. Some NPCs spawn with weapons, so you might need to customize this, you might not. I use TFA Star Wars reworked CIS weapons. Battle droids spawn with E5s. So you right click on the weapon you want, copy to clipboard, and just like the vehicles, paste it in here. So this will spawn a Combine soldier with the model of a B1 battle droid, and the weapon they spawn with is the E5. HP, you can customize this to whatever you want. I like to set it to 200 because Star Wars weapons that our players start with do quite a bit of damage, so it's good to have a custom amount of HP depending on what add-on you have and what NPCs you're using. If it's a next bot, if it's a hostile NPC, make sure it's checked. Again, this is a hostile NPC, so we're leaving this checked. If it's a next bot NPC, enable this. This is not a next bot this is not an NPC that is built on the next bot base. Again, this is just a standard Combine NPC. This is basically the same NPC base that's in Half-Life 2. So it's not a Nextbot NPC, so we're going to leave that disabled. And there you go. We've spawned our first battle droid. Wow! That was a lot of work just to spawn one NPC, right? Well, guess what? If we want to simplify this a bit, we can right-click on Spawn NPC, duplicate! Wow! And that made an exact clone of the event that we just made. So if I click on this, it's exactly the same as the other one. The only thing we want to change is the location of where it spawns. So I went over here to a different spot, set to your position, and now everything is exactly the same as the other NPC, except the location that it spawns is slightly different. And so we can do this a few times and basically copy and paste. So yeah, it's a lot to set up at first, but then you can copy and paste your way around here. Drink some water? I do need some water after explaining all that. So let's see, we've spawned 3 NPCs. I don't really know how many NPCs we should have. Let's just set up a few here. Again, I'm just duplicating, going to the spot that I want that NPC to spawn. The one on the bottom is always the most recent one. So that's how you keep that straight. Unfortunately, these don't change their names at all, so if you have a bunch of different types of NPCs, then it can get kind of confusing, but that's sort of the limitations of this add-on. Now, what if I also want to put in some B2s? We got these B2s here. So again, let's find the one that we want. Battle Droid B2 Private. Again, the weapon they have doesn't really matter for this, but again, duplicate, copy from looking at enemy. Again, it's just a combine with a skin on, and then we click on this to select a different skin. And then we need to get a different weapon because B2s do not use E5s. They use hand blasters. So let's copy this, copy the hand blaster, go over here, put that there. And let's say they have like 300 health or something. I don't know. But now we have a thing for super battle droids, the B2s. So again, set the location. And now this NPC at the bottom is a B2 battle droid. Excuse me. So again, the one at the bottom is the most recent, so we duplicate the one at the bottom. Double check that it's a B2. Set location. Now you would put a couple B2s back here. Again, just duplicating the B2 and setting different locations. There we go. Alright, I think that's a good amount of NPCs. So we have it set up so far where you go to the LAAT. Once you get to the LAAT, you go to the CIS outpost. Enter the outpost, which takes you right outside that door, and then once you get outside that door, your objectives kill changes to clear the outpost of hostile droids, and we spawn all the NPCs. Whoop-de-doo. As of right now, if we just kill all the NPCs, the quest will end, and that'll be it. We'll just be stuck out here without a ship. Locate and disable the enemy shield generators, the other prompt that we have in here. So, how do I want to do this? We can do collect quest entities and just say like picking something up is disabling the shield generator or something. We could do a move to point and then do like an event or something. Or we spawn an entity. I think what we'll do, and I haven't actually done this before, we'll do the collect quest entities thing. And we'll have you go over here, pick up the entity. We'll have you wait here for a sec so that you can sort of be like, oh, I'm hacking the system or whatever. Or maybe we do a wait here thing first. Thumbs up. There you go, Pixel. There's your thumbs up. So let's see. You go to... What room do we want this in? I guess it would make sense to put it in here. So you know what? Let's have this set up. Move to point. Go to the shield generator. I'm not exactly sure how entities work because I'm not used to entities in here. I've never done it before. Let's try spawning an entity. What sort of a prop we can use is like, I don't know, a battery or something. We can try this. A suit battery, that could work. We could have a car battery from Half-Life 2. A stove battery. Let's just use this. We can spawn it. Prop physics, battery, and I don't know. Oh, you know what? Maybe we call it a shield disruptor instead. So we'll set it here, facing the direction we're looking. Disable physics? Sure. We don't want it to really move. And you know what? Let's call it plant the shield disruptor. We can change the model and stuff later too if this doesn't really make sense. Make it a really small point. Mark the area. Same thing with this. Set it here. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that'll work, but we'll try that. Well, this is collect quest entities, so this will be like collecting it. Oh no, I just did like the same thing twice. Let's remove that for now. And just put this as an entity in like the move to point part. We'll see if this works. I'm not sure. What else can we do here? We'll do a wait time. We'll do 10 seconds. Wait for the shield disruptor to activate. Show player timer to player. Player must stay in the area. I don't know. We'll set that to 10. And so, let's see. We'll see to remove the entities from the last one. So when you get here, it removes the entity that we spawned in the move to point. And then you're just sort of standing here. And then once you're done, I'm just thinking of how to do this. You know what? I've got a better idea. Instead of doing this as a move to point, let's do it as collect quest entities. We'll move this up to change the order. Search area size, I don't know. 100, it doesn't need to be that big. And instead of collecting it, we're going to be like, plant the shield disruptor. Set my position, mark area. Spawn quest entity, in my position. Sure, we can enable the arcade style stuff. Show pointer above the entity, sure. To collect it, hold the E key for 3 seconds, we'll say. And instead of a box, it'll be a battery. So once you've collected that, it'll switch to the wait time. And instead of removing it, we'll spawn it. So that way, instead of picking it up, it'll look like you've sort of like put it there. Disable physics, yeah, we don't want it to move. This is all sort of me guessing. I'm sort of trying to learn along like as we're going here. And then we can remove that for now. So you collect this, and then it spawns here, and then it spawns an entity while you wait. And it could just stay there, I guess. Now we make a go-to area. We'll just say go back to base or return to base or something. If I could see what I'm doing. Return to base. Mark the area. Make it a bit larger. And now we'll no clip back to the landing pad because we're going to assume that you're going to fly back. I want to watch The Mandalorian. It's a very good show. I really enjoy it. And we'll try to make it exactly the same as before. Return to base, we'll do that. And then, after that, after you return to the base, we'll just do leave the area. And we'll set it to our location. And we'll make it a super big distance, like 3,000. And once this pops up, we'll remove the vehicle because you're not going to need the vehicle anymore. You're back at base. Alright, let's see. Teleport player, no. I think that's about it for like the basic functionality of this quest. So let's submit the quest for now. And that'll put it in here, but here it is. But it's not public. You can't get it from an NPC or anything. So this will allow us to play test it. Hey Gonk, how's it going? Alright, so outpost clearing. It immediately spawns the ship. I don't know if I want it to immediately spawn the ship. Can you take off with it, Hyper? I don't want you to be able to steal people's ships. Yeah. So someone could just fly off with it. So let's switch this a bit. Let's cancel the quest. You abandoned the quest. And yes, it does remove the vehicle. So instead of spawning the vehicle immediately, let's edit outpost clearing and put a new objective in here. Move to point. And we got to move it all the way up to the top because it's going to be our first objective. Okay. And we'll say go to the landing pad. Set 200, mark the area. We'll just have it at the bottom of here, just to minimize the chances of someone getting it before you. So there we go. Go to the landing pad, and then after you get to the landing pad, it'll spawn the LAAT. Save changes, and let's give it a shot. Our scouts are reporting the CIS have set up an outpost on the mountain opposite of our base. Hop in the LAT, assault the base, and disable their shield generator so we can call in an airstrike. Alright, go to the landing pad. We go here. Wow, look at that. It's an LAT. How crazy. And notice when we come up here, it doesn't count us as completing the quest until we get in. So we get in here. We fly up to base. Look at us, we're flying, wow. And see how the zone is bigger? There we go. We can land there. Enter your vehicle. That's weird. Do we have to... Strange. So this is what we call finding a bug. So let's cancel the quest. I think what's happening is that when we get to the enter the outpost, it still expects us to be in our vehicle. So let's try toggling ignore quest vehicle. And that should hopefully make it so that it doesn't count our LAAT when we get there. Let's go ahead and start the quest again. Go to the landing pad. Retrieve the LAAT. Go to the outpost. Enter the outpost. Look at that. We fixed a bug live on stream. Clear the outpost of hostile droids. I don't spawn with a gun because I'm staff on duty, so... I'm just going to spawn myself in a gun here. And again, I have a bunch of health. This is for like testing and stuff. These guys do act like they're holding a gun, but they are the wrist rockets. And what I'm noticing immediately is that we do not spawn with that much ammo. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel the quest. And I'm going to make it so that if we go into edit objectives and go to kill NPC. So I'm going to make it so that once we get the objective, clear the outpost of hostile droids, give ammo. I'm going to click on this pulse ammo because Star Wars guns use pulse ammo. And we're just going to give you max ammo. Just plenty of ammo because ammo's easy to come by. So there we go. We set that. Save changes. Outpost clearing, and now once we get to the front door, we should get a bunch of ammo. The ammo is not removed when we leave the mission, so that's why I'm putting it like at the front door. Because if you get at the front door, then you can't just like start the mission, immediately cancel it, and then have max ammo. It's a little balanced. Ooh, stop. I'm not a pro pilot. Wow, look at that. We have max ammo. Crazy. And you can see, even though that Hyper's there as a gonk droid, they are not targeting him, even though they are hostile to players. Because of our settings, we have it so that the NPCs will only target us, and he cannot damage the NPCs. They will still hurt him if he gets in their way, which is why he's lost health. But it won't really matter. The best he can do to help us in this mission would be to be a meat shield. And an ineffective one at that. And even then he'd block our shots, so let's see what happens when we kill this last droid. Plant the shield generator. Okay, so it did spawn an entity. It's a bit small though, so I might want to swap that out. The problem I have with this is it doesn't really tell you what to do. It doesn't tell you to hold E on it. Wait for it to activate. What happens if I... Wait, did it even work? I've just got enter your vehicle now. Oh, maybe there's a toggle in there that I need to set to ignore the quest vehicle. Yeah. Well, that's kind of annoying. You know, while we're here, we might as well change the thing that spawns anyway, because that was really small. Well, I guess if it's a disruptor, it would be kind of small. I don't know. I don't really have anything in mind. What should we set as the model for the shield disruptor? Mass Effect props. This is a prop pack that we expect everyone to have. Let's just spawn a few things. Like a little block there. Okay. We got a sci-fi looking block. It can't be too big though, because we're sort of assuming that we brought it in with us. I guess this block will work. This just random block. Actually, what's this? That's too big. Too big. I'm imagining something that could have possibly been carried on your back. I guess that block is good enough for now. I think it's better than just a little battery icon. Alright, so let's set the model. Disable physics. That looks good. Oh, this is the size of the area. So that little circle we saw around the battery was the area. So let's say 350. I see. So the wait time is 10. The size that we must stay in is 350, and we have to wait 10 seconds. I see now. Then we can return to base. That does not ignore the quest area or the quest vehicle. Yeah, I think we're pretty good now. Now let's see how the quest plays. I'm going to give myself a minigun too, so we can speed up the killing part of the quest. I couldn't join the server yet again. Does it say why? Sorry it took me so long to see your message. I'm just so focused. Sometimes? What do you mean sometimes? Are you saying that your Garry's mod crashes, or if your game doesn't crash, then it should always give you a reason. All right, plant the shield generator. It's a bit odd when it's spinning like that, so we'll probably toggle the arcade thing. Oh. Try joining with the 64-bit Chromium version. Yeah, this is weird with the arcade thing. Wait for the shield disruptor to activate. This is cool. Yeah, this way you have to stay in the room. That's exactly perfect. You left the area. I don't like how it immediately fails you for leaving the area. Standard entity appearance. Alright. Let's see if that looks better. I wish you could start from a certain part, but... My Garry's mod does not allow any Chromium version for some reason. What do you mean? What do you mean by it doesn't allow you to have a Chromium version? The Chromium version is just like in Steam. Plant the shield generator. Okay, this does look better now that it's not spinning. I could put in the thing. I could say hold E in parentheses. So I could have the quest title say, plant the shield generator, or the shield disruptor, then in parentheses, hold E. Wait for the shield disruptor to activate. Warning, you must stay in the area. Ooh. Maybe make that a bit wider. Enter your vehicle. Return to base. Oh. That's weird. Now we got leave the area, which is pretty big. I don't like the lines. But we did complete it. I'd look on Google how to fix that particular thing, because the Chromium version is much better than the regular version. There we go. Hold E. Make this a bit wider. And make this a bit smaller. And we'll say not to mark the area. So people won't see that little area. The circle on the map. Now let's run through it again. Make sure everything works correctly. Alright, enter the outpost. This looks fine. Maybe shrink the area a little bit. Plant the shield disruptor, hold E. It's a little off center, but I guess what I could do is stand a little bit off to the side. Okay. Maybe expand that a bit for more. Kind of just removes the ship as soon as we go in, but oh well. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I kind of like how it just sort of removes it, because then you don't have to worry about landing as much. Let me Google real quick. Gmod, no menu buttons, Chromium. I'm just trying to see real quick if I can find you a solution real quick. I don't know. The Chromium version works for me perfectly, so I'm not exactly sure what to tell you. I would just try to figure out a way to make the Chromium version work, because it helps so much. Let's see. We'll first try to change the location of... Well, actually, no. The circle would be sort of weird. Ooh, we can... Yeah, we can move the entity independently of the zone, though. So we can see if that works. I'm just going to give myself a grenade launcher again to sort of like speed up the combat. I wish we could sort of test this without doing the combat. But unless we want to reorganize stuff temporarily, then this is how we have to do it. Well, I don't think this is faster. Because I turned up the health for them. Alright, the shield disruptor. I think I moved it the wrong way, and I think I moved it forward a bit. I need to stand on this side. Yeah, like, this is a good way of measuring it. Like, I'm right in front of the door button. I could probably, again, just temporarily move it or whatever. What? That's so weird. Why is it... I think the reason it's spawning sort of offset is for that sort of stylized animation or whatever, but it's just weird. But yeah, when it was on this side, I think it was pointing the other way too. So you know what? I'm just going to forget about that for now because that's kind of nitpicky. And just move on with finishing the quest. I'm just going to reset both of these. Now, let's clean up the ragdolls real quick. What if we want to make this a little more purdy? Let's shrink this a bit. And then, once we have killed the NPCs... You know what? I was going to put a cinematic camera here. But instead of putting it there, why don't we put it on the very first one, showing you where the outpost is. So for cinematic camera, we got delay. That's how long after you get this objective, the cinematic camera will start. So we'll just leave it blank to disable it. So the moment you go to the landing pad, this cinematic camera will start. Text to be displayed, that's text that's sort of under the camera as the camera's moving and showing you where you're going. So let's see. Fly to the droid outpost and eliminate all hostiles. Camera shutter effect. I think that looks kind of tacky, so I never have that enabled, even though it's enabled by default. Camera FOV, it's 90. I like having mine set to 90. I don't know what most people have their FOV set to, but whatever. So we're going no clip to where we want the camera to start. And then click set position. And then we'll go where we want the camera to end. And we'll set it like, I don't know. Let's see what it's like if we end it here. Something like this. At least this time, since it's at the beginning of the quest, we can see it immediately. Fly to the droid outpost and eliminate all hostiles. Alright, I don't like how it covered up the intro text. Also, which way did the camera turn? So it turns to the right. I was thinking it would turn to the left. I also think it would be better if it was slower. So let's remove it from the landing pad and put it in the LAAT. Display text, duration. Let's try 15 seconds. Camera movement speed. I think the camera movement speed is sort of independent of the duration. So like if the duration's longer, then and you want to be, if you want it to last exactly like 15 seconds, then you can change the speed and whatnot. But I think since we don't really mind, I don't think it really matters. So let's start it off here, because this is sort of where you'll be. And save, start. So you start it off, you see the text, and then once you get here, fly to the droid outpost and eliminate all hostiles. Okay, maybe the speed isn't determined by that. Apparently there's aimbot for Gmod. Oh yeah, there's aimbot for like every game out there. Lower number, slower movement. Let's try 3 and 10. Let's see. See the quest. I don't like how you fly through the tree. Also, it's a little slow. Let's set that to 4. And let's try to get a different angle of the base. Maybe instead of like from the left side, we'll do it from the right side so that it doesn't go through that tree. Maybe end it here or something. Yeah, that looks nice. Maybe speed it up again a tad. I think it was, the timing is actually fine now. It's just the angle that was throwing us off before. So that looks good. So if we want to make it so that you have to land and the vehicle will only despawn after you land, then we can make a little waypoint at the bottom here again that just says like exit your vehicle or whatever. And then when you get the exit your vehicle thing, then it despawns. Or when you get to leave the area, then it'll despawn. So let's see. Go to move to point. How big is the point at the beginning? 200. Let's move it up before we forget. Exit the LAAT, and then we'll put this here. Ignore vehicle quest so that you cannot be in the vehicle when you get to the waypoint. And then leave the area. I think that's pretty good. What do you guys think? Anything else we can put in here? There's also like music stuff in here, but I'm not really sure. I haven't experimented with that. Pretty radical, yeah. It's a very complex mod with a lot of features, but it's cool. Run console command, that could be interesting. I wonder if we could set it to like use ULX or something. We can also, as you can see, give weapons, remove entities, teleport people, strip people of all their weapons, set HP and health. There's a lot of stuff we haven't even touched here. So let's try this again. Actually, you know what? Let me switch to my job so I don't have all of my health. We'll pretend that I start as a medic here. We probably start here because the NPC is right there. Our scouts are reporting the CIS has an outpost. Again, usually in the menu on the NPC, you'll have a chance to read it, so if you don't read it there, then it's whatever. Go to the landing pad. Since I'm actually like doing this with my regular class, well, this will be a good test to see like how long it takes. Again, keep in mind that we have this quest limited to one person at a time. So, again, if someone goes AFK, we don't want it to be too long. I'm going to try to do this without healing myself. Just take it slow. So that I can prove that you don't need to be a medic to complete this quest. Oh boy, they hurt. Woo-wee. Phew, 18 health to spare. I'm just that good. Plant the shield disruptor. Hold E. Wait for the shield disruptor to activate. Maybe I need to expand that a little bit. All right, return to base. Exit the LAAT. Well, well, I failed because I died, but I think overall that was pretty good. Maybe make the wait time a little bit longer. Expand the zone a bit. And we had like 10 minutes to spare, so even if you don't know what you're doing and you're very slow, I still think that's plenty of time. All right, let's just take this as slow as we reasonably can. Just walk there. Because I do have extra points put in my sprint speed. So we'll just walk there. Just mosey on down there. And then if at the end of this we still got plenty of time, then I'll know that the timer is reasonable. And for the flying part, I'm going to assume you know how to fly. But maybe I'll add a minute or two in case you're figuring out how to start the LAAT or something. Fly to the droid outpost and eliminate all hostiles. Wow. What a professional cinematic camera. Enter your vehicle. I could possibly expand this a bit. Or I could just say to not show the area. And just show the vehicle thing instead. Well, I was really high up in the air. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. How is he not dead? This door stays up for a really good amount of time. Oh, there you are. I had the hardest time finding him for some reason. We can remove this up to 500, sure. So we fly back over here. Well, we missed the landing pad, but it doesn't really matter. And leave the area. So still like 10 minutes, even if you don't know how to fly and you're figuring it out. Or if you take longer, a bit longer to like, take out the droids. You still got plenty of time, I think. I'm just going to, like, expand the zone. You have to wait a bit. Just so that it encompasses the entire room. What else? I think that's all pretty good. Yeah, I think that's good for the most part. Let's just think of a name for this and we're pretty much done. We also need to link this to the NPC, ARC Trooper Tony, so that people can get it. I'm not going to whitelist it right now. I'm just going to require that you have played that B2 a problem quest. What's a good name for this quest? Outpost clearing. You know what? Why am I asking? Why am I trying to think of anything? I've got Bing here. I've got AI. Have it do the work. Make. Actually, this would be in compose. Let's see if it remembers. If I just say make a name for that quest. Nah, it just comes up with random quest names. Make a name for a quest that has these objectives, and then it'll feed it the objectives it gave me. Operation Shieldbreaker. That's sounds epic. Gunship Assault Droid Outpost. Cody's Command Sabotage Mission. Droid Destruction Shield Generator. That's not bad. Let's just give it more info. Make a name for a Star Wars RP quest that has Star Wars Clone Wars RP quest that has these objectives. Let's see what names it comes up with now that I've added a bit more detail. Operation Shieldbreaker, Cody's Commando Raid, Gunship Glory, Droid Destruction. Hey, Captain Jack, how's it going? Outpost Assault. I actually like that. Outpost Assault it is. Now that's a good name. And now that you can get it from ARC Trooper Tony, we just click save, and voila, it's active. And there we go. We have a quest. We did do quite a bit of tweaking and prettying up, but that's generally how you make a quest with this add-on.
Hello.
Hi, new quest. Doing good? Good to hear that, man. We're probably going to wrap up the stream here in a sec, but because, you know, it's Sunday and I'm going over to a family member's house today for Easter dinner. But before we leave, let's go ahead and get this quest from the NPC. What jobs you got for me, Tony? Outpost Assault? That sounds like a cool quest. Our scouts are reporting that the CIS have set up an outpost on the mountain opposite of our base. Hop in the LAAT, assault the base, and disable their shield generator so we can call in an airstrike. Wow. Later on, I wouldn't be surprised if Wes had us, like, change it from an LAAT to, like, a different ship. Or I might try to figure out how to, like, do an airstrike, either where you call in the airstrike or maybe the quest itself does the airstrike. I'm not sure. We'll see. 1 hour stream? No, we've been going for 2 hours. We're about to hit our second hour. Fly to the droid outpost and eliminate all hostiles. Wow. Oh, I forgot to turn that circle off. I can do that later. It doesn't functionally affect the quest at all. You know, Wes, we had a commander meeting yesterday, and Wes said that he was actually thinking about using one of the other quests as part of his training. So I wouldn't be surprised if this quest gets used for someone's training either, or as well. I can see all the NPCs now? Nice. Yeah, I talked a bit at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah, they're all
the problems we're having with the downloads and stuff, and hopefully I can have something with that done later today or tomorrow. At least to prioritize the most important stuff. Because right now it's, I think Garry's mod or Steam changed something so that if you download more than 100 or so add-ons from a server, it doesn't download them all. So we kind of need to wait until that's patched, but until then we can at least prioritize the most important stuff.
That's a different model.
What?
That's a different model, I see.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's this?
You gotta activate the shield disruptor.
And how do we do that?
Wait for it to start. And now we just fly back. Exit the LAT. Leave the area. Wow. Yay. We did it. So yeah, that's basically how you make a quest. That was a good stream. We went all the way from having the new Bing AI come up with a quest idea for us, to making it in game, to play testing it, and nearly perfecting it. There might be like a tweak here or there that I'll make. Maybe I'll see if we can actually somehow make an airstrike scene or whatever. Whether it be giving the player an airstrike or somehow calling an airstrike on that base somehow, but I'll have to do that another time.
Event later.
But for now, it's another thing that you can do. Oh, before I almost forgot.
Yeah.
We gotta give some rewards for this. So for the Citadel challenge. Yeah, I'm trying to keep this on the low side. I think I'll lower that to 20K. Let's do, I don't know.
Why are Twitch streams like 30 seconds off?
250 and 500. Because that's normal. Everything has like a delay.
If I were to ping for an event, do you think people would get on?
I'm not sure. It's Easter, so we've got less people on, and I'm about to hop off, so you'd probably be fine with waiting until tomorrow, I'll be honest.
Okay.
But yeah, if you ever watch the news where like they have someone reporting from a different country, you'll see like the anchor ask them a question and then there'll just be a pause for a few seconds and then they'll respond. There's always like a delay because there's physical limitations to how fast you can send like data or a conversation or something. So sometimes that would be like 10 seconds, sometimes that's 30. It depends on the service, depends on what you're using, but it's normal for Twitch to have like a bit of a delay. 30 seconds is a bit long, but 10 seconds or so is pretty normal. So let's see, it'll save that.
Yeah, it's about 8, maybe 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, well, if it's 8 or 5 seconds, then that's perfectly fine. The thing that was cool about Mixer, when Mixer was a thing, was that one was like a second or less. Like their latency was extremely low because they had like their own
Jeez.
They had their own protocol or whatever that you would use that's completely different from Twitch and YouTube. And it was blazing fast, but no one used Mixer, and so it died. RIP. What did I set for the rewards for perimeter patrol? 100 and 1,000?
I think you said 20,000.
We'll do that. I don't know. All the rewards are subject to change. I don't know what I'm doing in terms of what's a good reward and what's not, so I'm trying to be on the low side for now, but we'll see. But yeah, we've set the rewards, and hopefully that's sort of giving you an idea of what I do whenever I make a quest for the server. So yeah, that was 2 hours. Obviously we didn't spend the entire time on the quest, and I did spend some time explaining things and stuff. But you also got to keep in mind, this is after I've learned how to do that stuff. Like in the past week or so, I've been learning how to use that add-on, and it took a lot longer when I didn't know like exactly how to spawn in NPCs the exact way I wanted to, or how to make a cinematic camera exactly the way I wanted to, you know? So that took longer when I was first learning this add-on. So while it did take longer than normal, like now, um, it also didn't take into the account of learning how to use it. So this house doesn't do Easter for some reason. That's okay. Everyone does Easter a bit differently. Yeah. Like we don't do an Easter egg hunt personally. We just do dinner. We used to do Easter egg hunts when we were little, but now we're a bit old for Easter egg hunts, so we just do dinner. But yeah, I'm going to end it there. I'm going to have to leave in a few minutes to go over to my sister's place for Easter dinner. But yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'll definitely be uploading this as this VOD to YouTube so that people can see sort of what it's like for me to make a quest and stuff. So if you're watching on Twitch, hit that follow button if you haven't already. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe for more streams and gameplay, and join the Steam group and Discord to get notified of when I go live. Yeah, happy Easter, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.